YouTube's Mail Away George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, can't believe we got a couple more days left of February. Seems like just started 2025 and just about to go into the third month. That's March. It's kind of warm today. I mean, where I'm living at, I think it was like in the mid 50s, 60s. And, it usually gets like that in North Carolina. But we have a lovely lady here, and she is from Canada. And right now, I think the weather's a little bit cooler for them. We have here,
Yeah.
we have here new, and I love what these new pros out here. Like to that fresh fish on the line. We have new IFB Bikini Pro, Mrs. Michelle Fletcher, and she turned pro last year at the North Americans. She's a fitness trainer and also a model. So we're going to talk to her about what got us started in bodybuilding, her plans on this 2025, and just really have a little fun and have a good conversation. So welcome, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not a
Happy
problem.
to be
Not a
here.
problem. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So this is a question to ask you ladies, especially in the sport of
Yes.
bodybuilding. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Appreciate it.
So, of course, like probably most of the other women, it started a long time ago for me. Back when I was a little girl, my parents were always into fitness. Long story short, I used to get kind of dragged along to the gym when my mom would go. And one day I wandered down into the basement of the it was actually the JCC Community Center, and looked in these windows and I saw weightlifters. I saw muscle. And back in those days, it was probably, I would say, early 80s, possibly maybe 1982. And not a lot of women in that room. It was mostly men, but there was pictures of women on the wall, the bodybuilders at that time. And I was very intrigued. Liked what I saw, but I wasn't old enough to get into the room and do anything with the weights, which was discouraging. And then that was kind of my first look at it. And then if we fast forward, because I didn't really do anything with it until that I was probably around 12 years old then, and probably my late teens, so maybe 1920. I was dating somebody that was into fitness. He was pretty fit, and he would read the magazines and work out quite a lot. So he took me to my first gym for weight training and introduced me to the magazines. And at that time, there was no women's magazines. It was mostly men focused, Muscle and Fitness, Muscle Mag. There was no hers yet. And I just loved they even though that was the men's magazine, they always had the fitness model section, which usually took up half the magazine. So it was women in bikinis, but very fit, muscular, but not to the extreme. And then in the back, they usually did have the competition pictures. So, like who had won and things like that. So, but I just loved the pictures of the fitness models. And I was like, that's what I want to look like.
Well, like I said, the sport has evolved over the years. I remember when my brother, he was my older brother, he used to play football here in our hometown, and he used to get the muscle max. That's how I got into it. Flex and Iron Man, and and muscle
Yeah.
fitness was very popular. And
Yeah.
then I got older. I really got more into the women, more into the guys because I was becoming a teenager. But still, it was a lot of us we use those magazines to help us work out and train. Especially, I used
Oh,
to play football in high school, and I used to lift the weights. And I'm almost just collecting because there was one magazine. It was strictly really an all ladies magazine. It was Women's Physique World, and it
hmm
was it came out around about the '80s and it lasted up to 2000s. And now, as a guy I know, he's running his own magazine, which is an Amazon Fitness magazine, which is also a magazine dedicated to your ladies because women in bodybuilding by that time was very it's just still starting up. I mean, you had Rich
right.
McLeish and you had Corey Everson, and one of the biggest documentaries for women bodybuilding at the time was Pumping Iron 2, and that came out around about the early '80s.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, so the magazines had a huge impact on me. And it's funny because I would take the magazines to the gym, put the magazine on the bench, and copy the exercises. And then as far as the diets went, like I learned how to train like a man. So, and when I first started, of course, I did everything wrong. So I was eating too much and consuming tons of pasta and things like that, thinking, oh, I'm gonna, grow muscles, and I knew nothing. And the magazines did help to a point, but it wasn't really until the women's fitness magazines came out that I really was like, oh, okay, this is more how I should be doing things. And things evolved from there. So the magazines were huge. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, I would have been lost.
Yeah, it's like everybody starts out this sport where they try to find the thing that works for them the most. For one thing, men and women, we're biologically different. What works for a man may not work for a woman.
Yeah.
And what was that first show that you competed in? What was that experience like for you?
So my first show again goes way back. It was probably, I think it was maybe 1990. I'm sorry, my dates and years are terrible, but I think it was about 1990. No. Sorry, probably 99. And it was an organization that was just starting in Canada, in Ontario. I think it was WNSO. I don't even remember what it stood for. um, and I really decided to do it just out of boredom because I had been training for a few years, and I just wanted to kick things up, and I wanted a goal because I felt stale in the gym. I was going to the gym, but I was at the point where I was like doing the same thing over and over, and I didn't have a goal. So I wanted a goal, and I didn't get a coach, anything like that. I thought I'm just gonna do it myself, and it was more of like a fit model look for that show. I knew nothing about the IFBB league back then. Um, and it was a great experience. So you got to do the tanning and the heels and all that, and I had no help with posing, so I was literally learning again from like magazines and, and things like that. Um, but I just liked the whole experience of it and having that goal. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was having something to do it for.
Yeah, everybody has that thing that gets them into the sport, the goals they want to do. To be a great athlete, you have to work on certain things like your posing. You got to work. Especially you wearing the high heels because
Yeah.
those things.
Yes.
I
It's not
mean, I
easy.
yeah, because I have tell ladies that when they started out, like you started kind of like it was a bikini division, right? We first started out, or was it like a
My
figures? I
fir-
think no,
my first show was more like a fit model type thing.
yeah, fit model. Yeah,
Um,
that's
yeah, but it wasn't with the IFBB. So yeah, it was more like you show up in a bikini. They had like a evening gown round. It was more like a fitness model type thing. My first show. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Because there's every different organization has different types. Like NBC and IBB are just kind of connected, and then you have other
Right.
organizations like NABA or also the PCA, and everybody has different categories. But yeah,
Yeah.
here we got some people coming in right now. We have a man, Balls Deep, coming through. He says this. Hello, Balls Deep. He says, "Good evening, gorgeous."
Hello.
So he says, yeah. He says, "Smash that like button." Thank you, brother. Also, he says, peace and blessings, beautiful.
Thank
You
you.
know, his one of his other monikers is Chicago in here. And one more he says, Schmo gang, 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 gang. I know I'm a member. And also we have here from a man, KL the Wanderer, shout to him. Also, he does content for all you ladies. Says, hey, what's up? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, brother. And also, this is from my man Balls. He says, this says, will you get back to vlogging on your YouTube? It's been about a year. So you
Oh,
also, yeah, you also have a YouTube channel. And
I
when did you
do.
start a YouTube channel?
Oh my gosh, back in, I guess it was COVID, like 2020 when everybody kind of started. And yeah, it was good for a bit because I was working, but not as much as I'm working now. So I do want to get my channel going again. And the podcasts are kind of helping me get remotivated for that. And I do want to get it started. I wanted to document my prep last year because obviously you don't know when you're getting your pro card, and now I really regret not having it documented. So this year going into a pro debut, I definitely want to get it going. I just have to learn. I don't know how to edit properly, so that's been holding me back, and I just have to bite the bullet and do it. So I'm hoping within the next month to to start up again. And
Well,
thank
like
you
I
for
said,
watching. It's like
yeah,
I only
like
have a few subscribers, so it's like thank you.
well, I tell you, I've been doing this for about 6 years. It took me a while to get to
Of course.
working editing and just like that. That's why most of the time I do my interviews, I prefer to do lives because I hate to do editing when I do these lives. That's like doing them
Right.
right here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I understand it's a lot of work, especially you have a YouTube channel. You
Yeah.
have
And
to,
time.
yeah, yeah, put out, and especially when you're training, you're working out. And you just said you're planning on making your pro debut. Is it this year?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh yeah, I'm
yeah.
older. I don't have years to wait. The saying for the younger ones, they're always like, "Oh, this stage will always be there." And I'm thinking, "Well, hey, I'm going to be 55 in May, so for me, the stage will not always be there. So I have to make the most of the next 5 years. So I'm going to be doing that, God willing.
Well, like I said, congratulations. I mean, you pick a show yet? Because with your which you division you'll be doing bikini because where with bikini is a
Yes.
lot of shows,
Right.
a lot of opportunities. Y'all don't have to train as much compared to like women's body physique or figure. You still have to be in good shape and condition. So
Yeah.
you have to pick a show yet, or you still just find out which one fits for you in your time.
Yeah, I haven't set a date yet. I've been looking possibly May or June, maybe something in Florida. Just with our dollar is really tough right now. So the Arnold's is gonna break me. So I'm gonna have to recoup a bit from that, and then I'm hoping maybe a May or June show in Florida. And I still have to purchase my pro card. So it's 275 for the card American, but for Canadians it's almost $400. So just for the card alone is $400. So yeah, and I'm
Well,
lucky because I do work my full-time job. I work at a supplement company in Canada called Popeye Supplements, and they're really supportive. So, I get a good discount on my supplements, so that helps. And they may help me this year too with some travel, so that would be fantastic.
that's good. That's good. That I think it's one thing I talk about on my channel that sponsorship does help, especially for y'all ladies, because the expense of doing the shows, traveling, paying your pro card fees every year. That's one of the biggest expense. I
Yeah,
mean, it's so much involved to it. Bodybuilding compared to other sports, is not very lucrative unless you got sponsorships or you got deep
right.
pockets. Because I keep saying this between you look at the division, especially between the men and the women, the guys got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. Tanny,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Y'all ladies have to present this look, of muscle and also beauty,
Mm-hmm.
femininity and strength. And your suits, that's right there, is gonna cost you a bunch.
That's
Hair,
expensive.
makeup. Yeah, I mean, I've known ladies who a good suit might cost you a couple of $1,000s. Just decent enough. But
Yeah.
it's just, and then you think about shooting for probably a show in I know there's the Clash series does a lot of bikini,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
they did a show a while back. They had Women's Physique, but this not gonna have next this year. But that might be something that you might be interested in.
Yeah, because I also have to make sure that they have my age division because I would love to do the Toronto Pro, which would be in June, but they don't have my age group for pros. So I can't even compete in Canada. So any show I pick is going to be in the States. So that's why I just have to make sure that the shows have the 50 and over and the 55 and over, so I can compete. And Definitely, I'm going to be doing Pittsburgh. I'll do Worlds, so it's the same weekend as the North Americans, because at least I can drive there. I don't have to worry about flying, and I'm familiar. I've competed at North Americans there for a few years, so Pittsburgh. But that's the end of the summer, so I'd like to do a kind of a warm up show before that. That's why I say maybe something in Florida, possibly.
Yeah, that's up to Florida is a mecca for bodybuilding. I mean, one of the
Yeah,
biggest meccas next to I think California, where everything kind of started for bodybuilding, and then you got Texas,
yeah,
and also there's New York is kind of growing a little bit, but yeah, it's mostly Florida's one of the biggest because I know a lot of ladies have done interviews with
right.
who live around that area, who compete in that area. There's opportunities for you.
Yes.
Here this is from my man Balls Deep. He has comment. He says. She's sexy and swole as AF. Also,
Well,
this is
thank
for
you.
my man KL. He says she looks like a fit model for real. So yeah.
Well, speaking of that, so I just made it into there's a Canadian magazine, Inside Fitness, and every year they have the Hot and Fit 100 of Canada issue. So I made it, well, this year I tried out for the issue, like you send your pictures in, and they pick 100 women across Canada to be in it. So I did make it into the magazine this year.
Congratulations.
So that was exciting too, because back when I did start this whole journey, I used to say, oh, because I did it through the magazines, I used to say, oh, I would just love to be in a magazine. So who knew that 30 years later, I'm in a magazine? So I don't know if you can
Congratulations.
see
I
the
can see
picture, but
right there in
yeah.
the hammock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I did that shoot when I went to watch the Olympia in Vegas last year, and I shot with a Canadian photographer from Windsor, Ryan Lomer, who is absolutely incredible, and we shot down in Vegas, and it was fantastic. So I'm hoping to do that again this year as well, hopefully.
That's pretty. That's pretty cool. I mean, opportunity where you get attention for yourself, recognition. I
Mhm.
mean, back in the day, I used to remember a lot of ladies getting the muscle mags, but now they don't
Right.
happen too much as often like it used to be.
Yeah.
One things I like is a while back a friend of mine. She got me. This is a magazine I used to always get when I was younger, and that is Muscle Development. I have some back issues, and it's an issue with Andrea on it. And a
Yeah.
friend of mine was at the Olympia back in 2023, and she had Andrea to sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great when I get this someone, especially like her, the current Miss Olympia champion, and just take the time out and it supports me. So, is there anybody that you follow in the sport that you're a fan of?
So, well, back in the day, I have to give it was Monica Brandt was my like goddess, and I did finally get to meet her in person at the Olympia last year, so that was incredible. So right now, as far as like the bikini division, I do watch because and they're Canadian, so you have to love supporting them. Of course, Lori Chapados, Jennifer Dory. Um, and I do like Amy. I can't think of her last name right now. She's kind of hot on their heels, as we should say. Um, I would say those are the ones that I follow. But I do love Andrea. I did meet her at the Olympia as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. And the wellness women, I don't know all their names. I know Cass and a few of their names, but the wellness women, oh my God. Genetically, if I was built that way, I would just love to be in the wellness division. Their bodies are insane, just and they're gorgeous. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it's just crazy. Some of these ladies just, it's a very popular division now. I think a lot of ladies who are switching over to that division. I think,
Yeah.
like I said, it's a division that fits if you have, that's why the Brazilians do so well because they have those strong, as I say, Afro aesthetics. The
Yeah.
bigger hips, the fuller, waist, they're a lot thicker in the thighs. They can put on the size
Yeah.
for that division compared to others. That's why I think everybody tries to find the division that works for them,
Exactly.
especially with their body types. Here we got a comment from my man, Balls DB says, congratulations on your debut. Appreciate that, brother.
Thank you.
Also, this is my man KL says, could you discuss a little on what your podcast or YouTube channel focuses on? I would check it out. Michelle. So, talk about a bit about your YouTube channel.
Yeah. So back, sorry, my light keeps going out. Back when I started in 2020, it was just kind of like a mishmash of not too much training. I did a couple like unboxing ones. I ordered some stuff online and opened it up, and some food, like meal prep, things like that. So moving forward, I want to focus more on training, prepping for the show, kind of day in the life things, because I know what I like to watch. I like to watch the YouTubers that are just real and show you like a day in the life, and this is what I'm doing today. And so I'd like to kind of do something like that. I am thinking about like my own podcast as well, and just discussing anything, like, anything that people just want to hear, I guess, like starting with fitness and kind of branching out into anything else that happens to pop up. But yeah, it would be mostly fitness oriented, obviously, and just the struggles and things that happen, and the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff would be really cool to be able to put out.
Yeah. All right. I understand. It's a lot of work to do a YouTube channel. I mean, I've been doing mine, like I said, again, for about 5 to 6 years. And I got
Mm,
into it because, I was taking care, like everybody knows my story. I was taking care of my mom for a long time. And I just started doing little stuff here and there. But because I was such a fan of women's bodybuilding, female bodybuilding, I said, what, let me just talk about this because this is something that helped me out when I was
hmm
dealing with my mom's stuff. And then, later on after she passed, say, what, now I have a focus, because, you
yeah.
know, it gives me something to do, to talk to you ladies, to hear your stories, to follow your
hmm
passions. But as I said, one of my crimes is I am a muscle person now. we get,
I
we get,
wouldn't
we
call that a
slow.
crime.
I know, but sometimes it's just as I'm a particular type of criminal. Sometimes he just loves anarchy and chaos. And it's fun opportunity to talk to any ladies because to hear your story, what got you started, and what makes you want to compete. Is such a it's a very extreme sport, bodybuilding.
hmm Yeah. Um, for sure. And when I started, like I said, when I started, it was kind of like a fit model thing, and then it evolved in 2017. I started competing again because I stopped competing for a while just to raise the kids and family life and all that. But I always trained. I never stopped training. But then when I started to compete again in 2017, I took it more serious, got a real coach, and went into the IFBB league and started in women's physique. Just because the coach I had at the time thought my body type was more that. But then well, along the way, I found out because he stopped coaching after a couple of years. So I didn't have him for too long, and he was a great coach. But I'm just a hard gainer. So my body likes to be lean, which was great for women's physique, but I couldn't get the size. So I went between figure and physique, so I would cross over and compete in both. And I did okay at the regional level, national level as well. I did okay because I was a little older. I was always in the well, I must have been in the over 45 back then. So in Canada, in I was always competing in Toronto. The shows weren't that big for my age group. It wasn't like an open division. So I did okay, and that kept me going forward. And then the one year I was at North Americans and I got pictures back. I think um I was competing physique, I didn't place at North Americans, but in figure, I think I got fifth. I made top five. So I was really happy with that because there was quite a lot of competitors at North Americans. And but when I looked at the pictures of the five of us on stage, I looked at my build and I looked at my legs, and I was thinking, oh man, and seeing the bikini girls at North Americans backstage, I thought I kind of look more like they do body wise. And I was thinking to be able to push the size to move from fifth to first for a pro card at North Americans, I'm going to have to put some serious muscle on. And at this point I'm 50. So I'm like, okay, that's a little extreme. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask my body. So I thought on it long and hard, and I thought, okay, I think I'm going to switch over to bikini. And hired another coach, told him what I was going for, and I did have to size down a little bit. And the posing was a lot to learn because it was a lot softer. I was used to like that hard, posing, which you don't do in bikini. And my first bikini show went okay. I didn't win, but again, I think I was 3 out of 3. um, and but I thought this is where I fit. And then going back, that was a regional show, and then going back to North Americans, I got fourth in a really stacked lineup. So I thought, okay, this is where I fit. And then talking backstage with Sandy, to the head judge at North American, she's like, "No, you're definitely bikini. Just keep growing the glutes, and you'll be fine." Because there was not much on top that I had to change. It's more just maintenance, and it's really I focus on my bottom, so glutes and legs, and keeping a tight waist, and full glutes. So and then I came back the next year and I got my pro card. So bikini is where I landed and where my physique fit. So, but it took me a few years to figure that out.
Yeah, because like I said, it's a process with
Yeah.
bodybuilding. Sometimes you just gotta work on the things that you gotta fix the most, and especially talking to like Sandy Williamson. Sandy is like one of the top,
Ugh, yeah.
judges. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, she does. Yeah, she does North American. She does U.S. National. She does the Rising Phoenix. She's all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's good to get that critique from her. We have some comments here from my man. This is from my man Balls. He says tatted muscle mommies. So he'd also like to ask you this question says, this is how many tats she got?
Oh my gosh. Well, I lost count because there's a sleeve going on. And yeah, I'm not your usual bikini competitor. Like, in that style sense, I fit better into women's physique because I had the crazy hair and the tats. And I used to have full dreads. And then when I went into bikini, I softened the look for bikini, but the tattoos obviously are there. So I've lost count. I mean, it's mostly I don't have any bottom half like no leg tattoos, but everything is you know, kind of yeah. I couldn't count just because of the sleeves. So I don't know. I would a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a comment from my man KL the Wonder. He says, she looks like she's wrestles in WWE. Also, he says this. He says, these Canadian bodybuilders, he's in love. So
Actually,
yeah.
speaking of the WWE, so it has nothing to do with me, but back at the gym, because I grew up in Toronto and I live in Niagara Falls, Ontario now. I moved here many, many years ago, but when I lived in Toronto, Trish Stratus was just coming up into the wrestling, into WWE, and she used to train at one of the gyms that I trained out of. So she used to walk in, and I'd just be like, "Oh my god," because she was so beautiful and her body was great, and so that was pretty cool. And I met her a couple times, and just a sweetheart of a girl. So if anybody is a fan of her, she's great.
Yeah, I interviewed a lady a while back. Her name is Melody Specko. She actually used to wrestle
Yes,
for,
Melody. Yeah,
she wrestled
I
for a
know her.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a great lady. She's coaching my dear friend, Miss Big Keith Williams' wife, Tina Williams. She
Oh,
went through
nice.
some, yeah, she went through some stuff just a few months ago, but I think she's doing fine
Health
now.
wise, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, her
yeah,
health has been up and down. Yeah.
yeah, she's fighting with lupus and stuff like that. But yeah, she's a great
Yeah.
lady. I enjoy interviewing her. I enjoy when I get a chance, especially a legend like herself in women's bodybuilding. So, folks, while we have Michelle here, what we're going to do, we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. We're going to jump in her IG. If you want to follow her, her links from her, are in the description of this live stream. You can check her out, support her, follow her. These ladies need use support, especially on social media. But guys, I tell you this is a disclaimer I tell Michelle. I don't mean no offense to you. I say it because there's guys out there can be weird. Guys, no D pics.
Yes,
Stop it.
yes, no.
Get some help. What's wrong with you? You know, I would
Yeah,
say
I
maybe
don't
keep
need
your
any of
site.
those.
No one does. No one, nobody. Not even,
No.
So here it is. We jump into her social media right here. And here's the picture. I think just one you just posted a while
Yes.
back. Which was this from?
So the one in the pink suit, that was from the shoot in Vegas as well. We took a ton of pictures. We shot for hours in Vegas. So that was from the Vegas shoot as well with Ryan Lomer.
Oh, that's cool.
That was back in November.
And this here?
That is the most recent shoot I did, which was Valentine's shoot. So it was right before Valentine's Day. There's a local woman in Niagara Falls called, her name is Barb, but she's Doll Face Beauty. And she does shoots usually a few times a year. So Christmas shoot, Valentine's shoot. This was the Valentine's shoot, which I did last year and this year. She does your hair, your makeup, she does all the clothing, and she's fantastic. So I did a shoot with her a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. And actually, a good friend of mine, my best friend, we shot together this year. So she has her own pictures, and I did my own, but we had a blast. So that was awesome.
And also, I saw you did a little. Also, you did another podcast, and uh, this is with I think his name's Master Splinter.
Splinter, yes, yeah. Yeah, he reached out a little while ago and we did that a few weeks, but maybe a month ago now, something like that, not too long ago. It was this is only my second podcast, so but it's great. I love podcasting because you can just I can be myself and you guys have been great, so I love it.
No, not a problem. See, this is right here where she's. Yeah, you can see the back. Look at
Yeah.
that.
That's the
Actually,
photographer bringing the best out.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, how long you been doing modeling and photography?
New. I'm very new to the fitness modeling. I've only done a few shoots, but I love it. I definitely have more coming in the horizon. Yeah, I'm fairly new to it. I did do another shoot when I was in Vegas too, but those are strictly for her biceps website, so they can be found there. Um, yeah, so I had a blast shooting in Vegas.
Yeah, because that means you have to work with Sean. I interviewed Sean a while back.
That's
Pretty
right.
good guy. He
Yeah,
really,
Sean's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
Sean.
Sean Nelson.
He
Yeah.
really does good work, especially. Yeah, he's I would say one of the real geniuses when it comes to
Oh,
women's
yeah.
bodybuilding. I put him up there with like another lady who's great. I met her a while back was Andrea Vecchio. She runs Muscle Angels, and she mostly does more
Okay.
with women's bodybuilding. But you ever interested, you ever get a chance, if because she's out of Georgia, but if
Yeah.
you ever, she sometimes she do the shows. Depending like if certain shows are around, she'll do that and do
Okay.
posters. And here, yeah, and here she is with the former
Yeah.
three-time fitness champion and all the way to your figure,
Yes.
Missy Trescott. What that
Yeah.
experience like to meet Missy?
Oh my God, incredible. She is the sweetest woman ever. She blew me away because I have met her a couple of times and she always remembers me. And I saw her when she just came off her Olympia win in Vegas the next day. She was floating around the expo and I went up to her and congratulated her. And then she turns around and congratulates me on getting my pro card. I'm like, you know that? And she's like, yeah, because she follows me and likes my stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Like for her to, I'm congratulating her. She just won the Olympia again and her biggest comeback ever. And she's like, oh, congratulations on getting your pro card. Like, yeah, I love Missy. Oh, love her. Fellow Canadian, nothing but love for her. And I have to shout out my other Canadian woman, is Mindy O'Brien. So I do posing with Mindy. I try and go every weekend. I posed with her for years. She posed me for women's physique. She posed me for figure. Now she's posing me for bikini. Sandy has always, well, not always, but my feedback from Sandy for the past couple of years, my posing is great. And that's due to Mindy O'Brien. So if there's any Canadian women out there that are looking for posing, Mindy's amazing.
Yeah, Mindy Brand's a legend. She started
Yes,
actually in fitness, then later she switched over to women's physique, and she's been a
right.
multi-time Olympic competitor since her career then. And
Yeah,
these are
I owe a
yeah.
lot to Mindy for posing and my confidence. And she gave me a little good luck coin last year when I won my pro card, and I love her. So I call her, we're friends. I call her friend. Yeah, she's incredible, incredible.
Yeah, it's good to have a relationship with someone like that who helps you in your process as you develop as a bodybuilder and to grow. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just, like I said, bodybuilding is a very tough sport. It
Hmm.
takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. I
Yeah.
mean, and you mentioned earlier you have kids. How old are your kids, and what they think about their mom? Work around in a posing suit about half naked on the stage.
Well, they grew up with it. So they grew up with me being into fitness and dragging them to the gym when they were little in summertime when there was no daycare at the gyms here. Um, so at first they were a little bit like, but I don't know, because they were so young. So they're all, well, my youngest is 23, my son, who is biologically mine. And then back when I met my now husband, he had two young girls. So they were 2 and 3 at the time. And now they are, oh my gosh, 27 and 28. And we raised them. So they call me mom. And actually, so the middle child, Caitlin, she is very into fitness too. And so is our son, Aiden, and she's thought about competing, but she's got her career now. She's a dental hygienist. So for her, it's time management. She wants to buy a house and money and this and that. So, but she goes to the gym every day and follows good meal plan. And now our son is getting into it, and he's actually probably going to be competing next. Well, I guess it would be in the fall. He's thinking about starting in men's well, he's 23, so it'd be men's physique. And I'll probably be coaching him. So and then we do have a dear friend too, Zane from he's in Hamilton, Zane Watson. So he's a IFBB pro as well. And we're pretty good friends with him. So I think he would help too with Aiden's coaching. Um, yeah, so the kids are into it. So it's fun. I love it. And actually, Aiden, my son and his girlfriend are going to be coming to the Arnold for the second year with me. So it's really cool to see him, and my daughter like immerse themselves in it. Um, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. As you mentioned, the Arnold weekend is coming up. I think Thursday is going to be for the amateurs qualification,
Right.
for pro cards, and then I think the next following week is the start of the Arnold Classic. I have some issues with the Arnold Classic.
Hmm.
This is, as I said, this one of my favorite quotes from the movie Batman Begins, where Ra's al Ghul tells Bruce Wayne and says, "In order to kill the enemy, you walk quiet behind them and stab them in the heart." And he did that to women's bodybuilding. We kicked
He
it out
did.
from the show,
Yeah.
and then figure and physique. I mean, fan of his movies, but not his
Yeah.
politics when it comes to the women.
Yeah, I totally get it. And back in 2020, when speaking of, politics, and I was like, oh my God, I'll never support him again after what he said. And then, a few years go by, and then it came up to go to the Arnold last year, and I had never been. So after had gone to the Olympia and experiencing that, I was like, oh, I really do want to check the Arnold out. So for me, it's not about Arnold. It's just the experience of, I just love being like I walk into the expo and I'm like, I'm home. So I can't help myself. I know. I don't support a lot of what he stands for sure.
Yeah, we have here the Bullets Gotti show. Shout out to him. He's coming through, give us a couple muscle effects and a fire heart. I mean, and also this is from my man Balls Deep. He says, you know, Planet Muscle or Muscle Elegance was fire. He's talking about the magazines. Yeah, I remember them. And also this is from Balls. He says, What do you see? What you want to gain from female bodybuilding? What you want out of the sport for yourself? What you want to gain?
Um, so for me, I think it's always that I always looked up to the athletes. To be considered an athlete to me is very prestigious. So to be looked upon and recognized as a female athlete, I just, for me, it's kind of like a life goal. So I feel like I've been achieving that goal. Um, becoming a pro now, I would love to win a pro show at some point. It's not for the money, it's not for the fame. I just do it because I love bodybuilding and it keeps me going and it keeps me young. So that's it, it's the longevity and the life that it gives me that I feel good. It keeps me bettering myself all the time, making bigger goals, and something to look forward to because getting older in life, a lot of people don't do well with it. And health issues come into play. I mean, you just never know, right? So I try to just make the most of every day and do what I love. So I love to do it. And as long as I'm healthy enough, I'll keep doing it. So,
Yeah, I can tell you this because I turned 50 in November, and
mm,
I've been dealing with stuff. I have a pacemaker. I had for almost 10 years. I had a heart
oh,
attack when I was 39.
mm,
And when I was taking my mom, I put on a lot of weight. I was almost 500 pounds, but now I'm under 400 pounds. I'm like
mm,
last time I checked my doctor is 397. I had a little setback because I have issues with my knees. I got bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah.
And yeah, I try to eat a little healthier, even though I might even now and then don't always eat as healthy as I should. I this afternoon I had a pizza, but you
Mm,
know, yeah, but it's a lot, especially when you're getting mature. Because it's one thing, we have these young competitors like when you're young, like your son's 23, he can boom, 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 boom.
right.
But then when you get to our ages, it's like it's an uphill battle, especially working
Yeah.
with your body when it's getting to the point where. But it does help to work out and train because muscle does help. But
Yeah.
most people feel like if you put on a little muscle, you can look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Lou Ferrigno. No, there's
Yeah, no,
there's a lot
I
more to
wish.
it.
I wish everybody would look like that if that was the case, right? That's what I
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
people when they say that. It's like, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing about bodybuilding. Most people think about it because it's not very popular mainstream sport. If you look at it, other sports, when we think about bodybuilding, everybody's going to put the first thing we put like, well, steroids, performance enhancers, and PEDs, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I keep saying this, and for my discussions and talks with many ladies, it's only a small factor
Right.
to it.
Oh,
It's just
totally.
it's needed for the process. There's
Yeah.
natural competitors, but natural's being different from the more enhanced competitors. But if you don't follow a diet, be consistent.
Yeah.
Be disciplined. You're not going to look like someone like yourself. You know.
Exactly. Like the steroids, the PEDs are more actually for the recovery. So you're going to recover faster. You still have to work hard, if not harder, And then, like I said, myself being a hard gainer, I could take, unlimited things, but my potential to grow, like, it just wasn't happening. And I didn't want to go too hard and harsh with PEDs. So I made the decision just to pull back, and I feel so much better. My body's so much happier, less inflamed. And, but yeah, they're a very, very small part. But yeah, I mean, in the pro leagues, especially being female, you need it. Most women need it, and but it's not. Like I said, it's more for the recovery, and so you're able to go back to the gym the next day and push hard and keep going back and push hard. But without the diet, and I really didn't learn that until I was a personal trainer for a long time, and I used to tell people, oh, diet is 80% of it. I would say it's 95% of it. After competing and learning how much diet changes your body from day to day, um 95% of it's diet. You could train your butt off. And I'm sure people see those people in the gym. They're at the gym every day, but their body never changes because their diet's not changing. If they tweaked things, if they would, remove some things and put other things in place, their bodies would change. So it's diet all the way.
Yeah.
What I
Uh,
what I believe. My
yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah. Here's a comment from a man, Ball Deep. He says, she's a little bit shredded for bikini. Yeah, you
Yeah,
see it.
I have to watch that. It's a fine line with my body type because I just get very lean and I eat a lot. I eat a lot of carbs. I'm so blessed that way. But Sandy, her feedback was to watch the legs because she goes, your legs are a little bit lean. So it's a fine line I have to walk. So for me, the struggle is keeping a tight waist and full glutes, and not being so lean. So keeping that fullness, but not spilling over necessarily. So, myself personally, the look I had 2 years ago at North Americans, I liked better than last year's physique, but my glutes were fuller last year. But I feel like my waist wasn't as tight. But glutes win the bikini show. So, as long as I can keep my glutes full, although at the pro level, I mean, everything has to be dialed in. So, yeah, it's tough. That's my struggle.
Yeah, because I know that's why they bring in the new fit model division because they feel like bikini's getting too close to how figure started originally.
Yeah, which I'm
I
happy
mean,
about. It's
yeah,
good for me because that's my body type more, but just not
yeah,
with as much muscle.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't want too much roundness in your shoulders. You don't want too much, you know, too much definition in your, especially your abdominals. You want that nice lean look, but still fullness in your glutes. This is for a man, Balls Deep. He says, "Who's her trainer? So who's you working with? Is a trainer?
Me.
You? That's you?
I'm self-coached. Yeah, I
Oh,
coach myself in with for my pro card. I am self-coached. Yeah, I had a coach up until 2 years ago. And then things weren't I wasn't happy with how my body was looking, and so I prepped like peak week 2 years ago. Yeah, actually 2 months before peak week, I started kind of veering from what he was telling me to do because it wasn't working and he wasn't really listening. So I kind of did my own thing and I placed well. And then I was going to be hiring another coach. But then things were progressing and I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, I'm doing okay. And I would go to posing every weekend with Mindy, and Mindy would eyeball me and be like, "Oh, you're looking really good." And I would tell her what I was doing, and she's like, "Keep doing it." So I just floated into North Americans last year without a coach and somehow nailed it. So I've been flying solo ever since. Yeah. I know
well,
my
see,
body. That's the thing too, is I think I love coaches and I love coaching, but I mean at some point I may need a coach again, but I may, take back these words, but at the end of the day, because I've been doing it so long, I know my body best. I know what my body thrives on, I know what it doesn't like. Can I always do better? Of course. I'm not science minded. I'm more of like the bro science. So I can tell you, yes, I do this, this, and this, but not from the science point. I can be like, well, if I eat this, I look like this. Science, like, I don't know why. But I just kind of fall, I'm a very intuitive trainer in the gym. So when I train myself, it's all intuitive. And pretty much with my food too. So I just play around with my amounts of how
oh,
much when I start like dieting for a show. I keep pretty much everything the same, but I just pull amounts as I cruise myself in. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's the tough part. Like, not a lot of people are their own trainers because sometimes you might. That's why some people like to have a trainer because they want to see something that you might have missed. You give that
Oh
second eye.
yeah. And I'm my
Yeah.
own worst, like that's the other thing too. I'm way harder on myself than any coach has ever been on me. I see my flaws. I see everything. And yeah, cuz like I said, I see Mindy a lot on weekends. So I'll be like, "Oh, I see this and this," and we'll be posing and because she does a group posing session every Saturday for usually over an hour with a group of ladies. And, sometimes she doesn't really give me much critique. And I'm like, Mindy, like, there's got to be, I can't be doing everything perfect. So she'll like really look and say, okay, maybe like change that. What happens if you move that way? And, but because I see things that so yeah, I'm very hard on myself. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a tough thing to really critique your own self, and figure out, what works for you, because you have to push the weights yourself. You don't have the coach yelling at you, say, do this, that, and
Yeah.
that. It's just I think a lot of people who do that with their own trainers, I think you're a special breed of person, because most any person wouldn't want to say, what, I can't trust myself because I
Mm,
can be tempted. Things could happen. And that's why I said like this: you want to get that other eye from a coach that really,
mhm.
something that you might have missed. That is, it's a good thing that your relationship with Mindy,
Yeah, it's great.
she helps you out, and she's being a competitive long she has, and she can see those things, and then
Yeah.
just point them out to you, and you just, okay, let me
Yeah.
fix it. Here we got a
Exactly.
comment from my man. KL says, did she say she's 50? Yes, she did. She's gonna be 55 in May.
Yes.
And also my man, Ball, he says, she looks 30. Yeah,
Oh,
that's not
thank you.
bad. Also,
It's the lighting.
my
That's
man
not
KF
working.
says, if I was 20, I would want to date you, Michelle. Well, I don't think her husband would like that. So you better, that'd be big on her, but that also be big on me. So, so, and also my man, okay, he says, I like those arms. Oh God, he likes the arms.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there you go, guys. You got a little
Oh,
flex now,
I
so you're
gotta get the
happy.
light on. My light
Yeah,
keeps going off for some reason. I don't know why,
yeah,
but
it's
there we
probably
go.
motion sensor like that. There you go, guys. You got a little flex, guys. Now you're happy. Put
I
on
still
t-shirt
love to
lotion.
flex.
Yeah, yeah. Because the guys would actually, sometimes when we interview guys say, George, ask the flex, ask the flex. I'm not going to ask anybody to flex. If they flex on their own and they do it voluntarily, I appreciate it. But I'm not going to ask because, she's flexing training every day. So sometimes you might get tired of flexing. But I do appreciate you for doing that. And I know a lot of guys appreciate you for doing that. Now to urge your pro card in North Americans, what's that feeling like for you? When you say now you're IFB Pro.
Yeah, that was a huge accomplishment. I think I'm still like, it doesn't even feel real because it's something that, I mean, that wasn't, I always wanted my pro card. And then getting it, it was like, it was surreal. It was surreal that day. Um, and you pretty much know in prejudging where you stand, and I ended in the middle when they called us off. And I walked off stage and I said to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I think I just got my pro card. And I almost cried, but then I'm like, well, I don't know yet. Like, I'm not sure. So I played the head game back and forth. And then I had to wait like 6 hours before the night show. So it was painful. We went back to the hotel. I couldn't sleep. I was like, up and down, and my husband's like, just relax, and I'm like, I can't. And then when I went back at the night show, um I pretty much knew, but then I was still questioning it. And the girls before me were coming off, and like nobody's holding a pro card, and I'm like, what's going on? Like maybe they changed the rules this year. And oh my God, I was so in my head. And then finally, when they called us all on stage and they start calling the numbers down, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm getting my car. It was surreal. It was surreal. It was amazing. Like it's one of those nights and days that you wish you could relive over again, just to feel it again.
Yeah. Were your family there with you, or just you by yourself, or was it?
My husband did come with me. Yeah.
Mm.
It was just me and my husband that went down for the show, and he was there with me, actually. It's funny because he's always late. So so he missed. And it was kind of my fault too, because I said, there's probably, because he dropped me off and went back to the hotel I think he had a quick workout and a shower or something. And I said, yeah, you probably have like an hour, but the night show moves so quickly. So I had like a second to text him. I'm like, I think I'm going to be going on in like, half an hour or something. And he rushed to get there, but he just missed it. So it was fine, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good, you know. And what's your husband's name? How long y'all been together?
Oh my gosh. So we met in 1999 and we got married, what, 3 or 4 years after that? So we've been together since 99 though.
That's good. That's a good
Yeah.
relationship. I mean, it's good because one thing is that people, especially who get into the sport of bodybuilding, because it's just not a very, instead of getting not a very typical sport, it's very strange, very extreme for most people's mindset. I know I've talked to ladies like they have been in marriages and they broke up because the husband liked them
Yeah.
into it, because it's just changing you. You're in a division where it's more pleasable, especially with bikini compared to
Yeah.
others like women's bodybuilding or even physique or even figure. But it's good that he supports you. He comes to the shows, and your kids are following. For say like your son. I know, and I think, like I said, a lot of people just don't understand, especially in your family, because
Hmm.
they don't know anything about it. The only thing, if they think about bodybuilding, they think about Arnold Schwarzenegger or Lou Ferrigno, Incredible Hulk, and the Terminator. And friends. I've talked to ladies that friendships change because
Yeah.
you're not doing the same thing like you used to, like hanging out
Yeah.
and go like that.
Well, when we met, we were both gym rats. So he was a big boy when we met. He still is a big boy. Muscle bound and the whole thing. And then um he kind of stopped. Like, I never stopped training. He stopped training. He was working a lot, and then he was coaching our son's baseball, and so he wasn't in the gym that much for a few years. He was always into fitness though. So, and his frame, he just held the muscle very well over the years too. But then in 2017, so the first I did my first competition way back like 99, and then I did one or two after that, but it was very rough, very rough. The dieting was different, and he was like, "Oh, you're hangry," and it was awful. So I kind of gave it up because the kids were young, and it was causing a lot of friction. And then in 2017, things were, I mean, marriages, you go ups and downs, right? So I was kind of at the point, the kids were a little older now, and I wanted to do something just for me. And I was in my head, I was kind of like, I'm doing this whether you support me or not type of deal. And it got him back into the gym though, because seeing me on stage and getting in top shape, he got remotivated and got back in the gym, and then we started training. Well, he started training again, and because when we met, we used to train together. And then at a point, it gets too hard because he's lifting so much heavier than me. So to train together is just a pain because I'm taking off, 7 plates on this side and 14 plates, and who has time for that? So we sometimes still go to the gym together, but we train separate. But yeah, his we've always kind of had fitness as a backdrop in our life, so that helps.
That's good. That's good. He supports you, and he's good, smart, because you don't want to be like a bikini girl and be looking like just a Ray Padillas on stage and say I'm bikini. Say, hey, yo, bitch, you in figures. You're in the wrong division. But yeah,
Yeah,
and it's good that you two are. It really helps your relationship.
yeah,
Because I think that's one thing. A bodybuilder can depending on the people, it can help your relationship or it can break your relationship.
exactly. Yeah,
Especially
it's
extreme
gonna go
nature of it.
either way. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
either with the or you're not. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is a question I ask anybody, especially being a fat man. I like food, and Michelle. After that, the North Americans, where is that thing? You've been on your diets and you've been hungry, and you just where's that thing that was calling you? Where's that thing, as my other guy would say, it makes you stranger, but yet it makes you stronger.
So I am one of the lucky ones that I don't starve too much during prep, but um I actually see other girls would probably hate me because to be totally honest, 2 nights before getting my pro card, my meals So I had my regular meals, which is like chicken, rice, and bare bones meat and all that. But then I always have Burger King as my like cheat meal. So I usually have Burger King the night before the show to fill me out because I'm usually taking a little bit of water manipulation and then I need to fill back out. So I had Burger King 2 nights prior, and then I had Burger King the night before the show. So I actually had Burger King 2 nights before, like going in getting my pro card, because I was just depleting too much. Because I watch myself every hour, and I bring a mirror, an extra mirror to the hotel room so I can see my back and my posing. And I'm like, oh my God, my glutes are like they're falling off. I need to go eat. So I think it was like 11, maybe 10:30 p.m. the night before the show, and I'm like assessing myself, and my husband's sitting there and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I think we need to go to Burger King again." So we had to hit up the drive-through at like 10:30 at night. And I didn't finish it all, but I had just enough and I filled out good for the next day. I'm so grateful that I did that. But then after I won, we went to Cheesecake Factory. So I had the burger. I'm a burger and fries girl. So burger and fries, cheesecake. Cheesecake is I love cheesecake. So that was the big meal.
Yeah, me personally, I've never been much of a fan of cheesecake. I know a while back, my great niece, she was selling for her high school, like some fruit and stuff. I said, nah, I like pound cake better. Or
Yeah.
my mom used to cook. She cooked these layer cakes. I mean, like 5 layers. It'd be chocolate or jelly or whatever. I used to love that. I just,
Yeah.
I remember one Christmas, I cooked a couple of cakes, and she was just sitting in her wheelchair and give me instructions how what to do. And
Oh.
then after I was done, she said she ate it. She takes it, says, George, son, it's not pretty, but it does taste good. That was the first and last time making a cake, so I never do it again.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I said, everybody finds that food that really helps in the process. It's again, the diet is 95% of your process as a bodybuilder. You have to eat the right things. You can't eat anything, but then it's good to have that little bit of something like some of the salt, a little sugar, a little,
Yeah. Oh
a
yeah.
little oil in it. It's just something to make you feel because you know what,
Yeah.
you're tired of chicken, you're tired of rice, asparagus. It's just good to have those little, precious moments.
I have a cheat meal every Saturday night is Burger King. I get to keep that and I'm still like the every Saturday night is Burger King.
You know,
So
I, Michelle, I hate people like you because you can eat like a piece, you can eat a whole 10-course meal. I eat a piece of bread and I blow up. I mean, y'all just Burger King every week. I can't remember last time we Burger King.
Yeah,
I,
it's
yeah,
crazy. I know. I know.
yeah, yeah. Have it your way. One thing I love if there's a town next over has a Chinese buffet place. I love that. I mean, just I remember one time we got some. I didn't eat it all. I took saved some I ate some that day and ate some the next day. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing about it. The process of eating and training is important. And when you're training, what's your favorite workout? And that workout, you say, "Oh my God, I don't want to do it." I know you definitely you're your own coach.
So it's funny because I used to hate training legs. I hated training legs because I think first and foremost it scared me. Like having that much weight, being under the bar with that much weight scared me. And um it's tough, right? Like it's a lot training legs. So I think I used to hate leg day. I used to love shoulder day. But now I actually love training glutes. And I joke because being in bikini, I used to tell people, well, I never had a glute day. I had leg day. What the heck is a glute day? Right? To a bodybuilder, it's leg day. So it took me a while to adjust to like glute day, but I finally like can clue in and feel the pump and get like feel my glutes working. I have that mind muscle connection, so it's great now. So I do love glute day.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Most bodybuilders don't love leg day unless you are a freak. I had some lady say, "Oh, I love leg day." I said, "You're a freak. You're a mutant who likes leg
Yeah.
day." And
Yeah.
yeah, you have to always work on the things that you need to improve on, and also
Right.
work on things you need to strengthen. It's like I said, it's a process, and it's a process that I often hear people like, "You got to trust the process," but no, you should understand it first.
Yeah.
Then you trust it. Then you understand what's involved in it. And then when you understand it completely and totally, then you can trust it. It's just there's so
Yeah.
much to it. The training, the diet, the regimen. I know, when your kids were younger, when you started back in the bodybuilding, I mean, they're eating this and that. Like they're eating their little chicken nuggets and mac and cheese while you're prepping, you're hungry,
Yeah.
and you want to
Yeah.
pop in the face and stick their food. But you know, that's the
Yeah.
thing is that's the part about bodybuilding. It's important. It's discipline and
Yeah.
consistency. It's not that easy for everybody.
Hmm. Yeah. And it taught me a lot about myself because I never knew that about myself, that I actually, as far as bodybuilding goes, I liked being told what to do and following it and seeing the results. So I think it's when the plan works and you see the results, that's what motivates you and that's what keeps you going because it's working. So it's exciting, and you're in control, you're in charge of your body. So we all have that power to look how we want to look if we could just get our minds around it, because our minds are our biggest barrier. It's all like people think, oh, it's the body. No, it's the mind. It's all the mindset. It's, I mean, in the beginning, it wasn't easy. I used to have to really work at wanting to go to the gym. Who wants to go to the gym? Now I can't live without the gym. But it took years to get there, to get to that point. And it's just showing up every day, even the days you don't want to be there, and feeling better when you leave. So you get almost like, I don't like to use the word addiction, but you get so used to that feeling of leaving the gym feeling good that that's what keeps you going back, because you remember that feeling and you're like, I want to feel that again. So you go in to the gym and you leave feeling good. It's like, oh, I sweat, I detoxed, I feel good, I feel alive. So it's eventually that's what kind of snags you. But it's easy to fall off of that wagon too. So you miss a few days here and there, you get lazy. And you're like, no, I really don't feel like going to the gym. But that's your mind. That's your mind playing tricks on you, saying, oh, I don't really want to go today. But then you have to be in charge of your mind and be like, no, we're going to the gym today. I'm going to go. And then, yeah, it's a mind. It's a mind. It's a lot with the mind. And that's why moving forward with my coaching, I don't have a lot of clients right now, only because I do have a full-time job and it's a lot with my training and competing for show, like competing and all that. But eventually in the next year, I'd like to really make a bigger roster of athletes. But I want to focus more on the mind, because it's a lot, and it took me a long time to figure that out as well, that it's a lot of mindset. So if you can have the right mindset, it's a lot easier to move forward, obviously.
Yeah, it's the difference between being a good athlete or just being somebody who's just dealing with the decisions you make. Like like talk about the addiction part, but you sound like like talking to your bodybuilders, like talking like Pookie from New Jack City. Chris Rock from New Jack City said, "They be calling me, man. They be calling my name. The gym be calling my name, man."
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's your little inner voice, right?
yeah, it's so much to this. And you said you've been training. How long you been doing the training thing?
Like training other people.
Yeah.
So I've done it off and on probably since, ooh, what are we in? Like more than 10 years off and on. I've worked for gyms, I've worked alone, like personal training, coaching. Yeah, for I would say in and out over 10 years, maybe 15.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a good thing. I think a lot of bodybuilders will get into they find their passion, become coach and trainers. You have a full time
Hmm.
job, but you are hoping in the future that you can expand it. Athletes, maybe just wellness clients too, because that's where I think the
You're
big
right.
money's at. Yeah, because the new year, new me people. They already started. It's
Yeah.
they already quit after Valentine's Day. So
Yeah, and that's because their mind, they gave up. They gave up. It's easy. It's easy to give up, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I know I need to get back into it really myself. I do a little walking every now and then, but
Yep.
I'm at the point where I'm an old man now, so now I get a little stubborn,
No, see,
But
that's no excuse. And I
that's
love
my
when people,
excuse.
because working in the supplement store, I hear that a lot because people are like, "Oh, and I'm like, "Yeah, how old are you?" And usually I'm older than them, and then they're like, because it's like there is no excuse. No, no. If I'm
Yeah,
54 going to 55 and I can get my butt to the gym every morning, then you can too. So if you're in
yeah,
your 40s, 30s, as long as you're able to walk and talk and
yeah.
you know.
And many, like I said, I've been doing some interviews with bikini competitors. Many were amateurs, but many of the pros I've been interviewing are like yourselves. The oldest lady I interviewed was almost 60. She's a bikini
Wow.
competitor. And, I've known some ladies who are in bodybuilding who are in their 60s to their 50s. One lady who's also a Canadian bodybuilder, she's a good friend of mine, name's Melanie Horton. Melanie, she's almost 60. And
Mm.
her, I call her, she has a nickname, I call her Diamond Debbie, because she's just a unbelievable lady. Her body is. She's been competing since the '90s. She even
Wow.
competed '99 with Iris Kyle and people and Kim Zavetsky and them in the Olympia.
Oh,
But
wow.
she's like yourself. She has kids and she has a husband and she has a business and she still finds a passion. We try to keep in contact with each other. And I think this is to do the sport, especially as I said again, there's not a lot of money in it if you're lucky enough. If you have sponsors that help you out, because
Hmm.
say there's something come you work for might help you out. That's good.
Yeah.
And you have to do it, as they tell me, you have to do it for the love of it. You have to have a
Yep.
passion for it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the passion for sure. Yeah. Without that, you couldn't do it. Because it's like, what are you doing it for? Yeah,
Yeah. What's the
totally.
point? Yeah. What's the point? Get up in the morning and go into the gym, and then you just people see it as a bodybuilding is a pageant for people who don't see it. Like, or if we go to shows, like especially us guys who are schmoes, we go to shows, we see y'all ladies on stage, and y'all rock hard and ripped. Y'all get all up into the yeah, they just kind of excited, there's an
Yeah.
ocean saying, when your ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. But that's the short wishes. But we don't understand what it took you to get there. The diet,
Hmm.
the dehydration, you're tired, you're, working out every day, the commitment, the consistency, determination, and discipline it takes to be a bodybuilder. Most people
Hmm.
wouldn't do what y'all do. I mean, some people say after a few, leg days and some bench press days, they're gonna quit.
Yeah.
But you have to have a mindset to understand what's involved in this. And you don't do it because, hey, if I'm lucky enough to go to the Olympia, that's great. But if you're not, there's like not everybody gets to go to the big show. There's the Master
Yeah.
Olympia coming around the corner, and that's a great opportunity for you in the future if you think about that.
The Masters Olympia.
Yeah, yeah. It's it started back in 2023. It was
Right.
originally they did the Masters originally. It was men's bodybuilding, but then shout out to a guy who I'm a fan of who really saved women's bodybuilding, Jake Woods. Every time I say his name, I say, Yo Jake, I want that money.
Oh,
I
he's
want that
amazing.
money. Yeah,
Thank God for
and
him. Yeah.
yeah, and they kind of brought it back, and now the Masters Olympia is coming up. It's going to be in Japan this year. A
Right.
friend of mine, he's already qualified for it. A couple of ladies I know already qualified for it. It's like I think the limit's like you have to be at least 40 plus to get in, and it is qualification for the Olympia. Get you a back door into the Olympia if you ever think about that in the future.
Yeah, but I believe that female, the way it works, and I could be wrong, but I think because I know there's one woman my age, I think she's 54, 55. Um, she is going in bikini for Masters Olympia. She got invited. Um, but I think you have to beat the 45 and over.
40, yeah, 40.
Yes. Yeah. And to be honest, I like to stay in my lane. To compete with 40-year-olds, that's pushing it for me. It's a skin issue for me. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be, I would love it, but I don't know if I'd be capable. Let's just put it that way. Yeah,
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, just you do what you want to do, where you want to go, you know. But like I
Yeah.
said, that's an option you have if you're ever interested
Hmm.
in it. You can put in the application, you know, there's still an invite, but also yes,
Right.
you have to compete in 40 plus. But there's a lot to this sport that people need to understand, you know,
Yeah.
and people look from the outside, always gonna go to, you know, demonize body because you're taking steroids, you this, you that, you that, you know, not a lot of mainstream attention, you know, when you go like I know who Andrea Shaw is. I know who Chris Bumstead is. You know, most
Yeah.
people don't know who these people are.
Yeah. I know. Which is weird to me.
Well, it is. I think, like I say, it's just a very. It's not. You know, I remember back in the day. Bobby, remember, used to be on television. You used to catch it on
Yeah.
television.
Well, yeah.
ESPN. But now, I keep saying this. They're showing poker, cornhole, and darts. My friend, it,
Billiards.
yeah, my friend Big Keith. He plays bowling. He's on bowling league, and well, bowling's
Yeah.
still popular, you know, kind of. But he's actually
Yeah.
pro bodybuilder. He bowls, but he used to
Yeah.
play in the NFL, and also he did some other sports. So, so folks, we're not
But
gonna
sorry,
hold.
speaking of television back in the day, so
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember Kiana Tom. She had
yeah. Oh,
Kiana's
was it
Flex Appeal.
Yeah. Used to be on
Yes.
ESPN.
Yes. So I used to watch that. It used to be on here, like in Canada, like lunch hour, like noonish. And I would watch it and be like, because their body, she used to have like the guests, bodybuilders come on and train with her. So sometimes she had Monica come on and she had some of the guys come on. And I was just like, her body was incredible. And I just searched her up the other day. She's 59 now, I believe, and she still looks incredible. But she was a huge influence on me too, way back in the day, because they had her on television, thankfully. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, things have changed now. You know, I used to remember Galad used to be on like
Yes.
Body
Yeah.
Shape with Galad, and when
Yes.
used
Yeah.
to have like early in the morning, used to have exercise shows when we
Yeah.
kids, especially when teenagers, we didn't do the exercise. We was watching the women in the like leotards. We were
Well, we
teenagers.
had the 20-minute workout in Canada. I don't know if you ever saw it. It
No, I
was
never
called the
saw it.
20-minute workout. I think it was in the 80s. And they would wear the outfits like Jane Fonda would, the tights and the big hair. But the guys would turn on, I think again, it was on the lunch hour, right? So the guys would turn on 20-minute workout and they'd watch the girls just, one and two, jump around in their leotards and their neon
Yeah,
leotards.
yeah. Well, guys, we are, especially at that age, we are kind of perverted, so we just get there. But yeah,
At
but yeah,
every
I know.
any
Yeah,
age, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, when I talk to you ladies, I really enjoyed this opportunity to hear your stories, what got you started in this. I mean, like I said again, I'm not a big fan of bikini division. I'm like, but I do respect y'all ladies' passion and commitment in bodybuilding in general. I mean, like I said, again, the discipline, the work, motivation is one thing, but to maintain consistency and discipline is important. So, but
Well,
like one
thank you.
thing, yeah, no, you don't know anything. It's just we like recognizing that it needs to be recognized. Because y'all
Mhm.
ladies don't get much recognition. That's why my channel is mostly dedicated to women in bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the fact is, no one talks about it. It's only a handful of us. My man KL, he does content on female bodybuilding. There's another guy, David from Female Bodybuilding Forum. You should check him out. There's a female
Mhm.
bodybuilding channel. They mostly talk more of the big freaky chicks. But
Yeah.
we as fans of the sport and of y'all women want to give y'all opportunity to share your story. I
Hmm.
will someday. My dream is to have Andrea on here because I love her. I think she's so beautiful. I
Oh.
want to be my girlfriend. I mean,
Well,
but
if I do see her again, I'll try and put a word in for you.
oh please, oh, please.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know. I don't know if I ever. I remember I actually saw her do a guest posing. My first Bible show I went to see in person was Savannah back in 2022, and she was guest posing there. It was just beautiful.
Mm,
Her and Mona Personally, that's another famous Canadian bodybuilder. You know her. They were up there guest posing, and I mean it was just a beautiful sight to see her there in
mm,
person. And my man Big Keith, he knows her, and people are telling me about who she is, and just being there, experience, and even I meet Lita Popa, and I saw Linda Murray. I went another
yeah.
time there. She even one time was it last weekend was her birthday, and I popped into her live and IG says happy birthday. Said, oh, that's my friend all the way is George Page. The eight time Miss Olympia champion knows my name. I mean, not,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's
yeah.
just like I just get excited when I get to talk to you ladies. People like yourself, who, as I say, like you have your boots on the ground, 10 toes down.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
appreciate it so much that you reached out, like I said, and that you acknowledge Bikini Division. So yeah.
I acknowledge it. Yeah.
Because
I will.
when I made the switch, my bodybuilding girlfriends, because like I said, coming from figure and physique, they kind of were laughing at, oh, you don't want bikini, and they laughed, right? And I'm like, no, bikini, because that's just how I'm built. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, you have to find where it fits for you best. And and
Yeah,
I've been watching bodybuilding for a long time. The sport has evolved, and when has changed. We just went bodybuilding at first. Then here comes fitness, and here comes figure, and here comes physique and wellness and bikini kind of brought in. They didn't kind of evolve, but they are evolving with this. Now you got to do fit model division. Excuse my language. You know, coming in and it won't be long before it starts evolving. It's just the
yeah,
evolution of an athlete, where you go on your path. I
yeah,
mean, how you grow, what purpose. I mean, I know your friends are picking on you, say, hey, but you found what works for you best.
yeah, yeah. And you got to go with it. So
Yeah. So one thing I think most definitely, again, sponsorship does help. I know you have a little assistance, but would you ever consider, working with somebody else for sponsorship in the future?
oh, totally. I'm definitely looking for sponsors. So if anybody out there wants to sponsor me, I would love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like as a guys who you say he'll watching this video and watch this live stream, her social media links are in the description. If you're interested in sponsoring, genuine interest in sponsoring her, reach out. Don't be this guy and say, "Hey, Michelle, I saw your pictures. I like your blonde red hair. So if I do a favor, no, 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 no." This is why I say, guys, you get more with a silk glove than an iron fist. I know what you do in that iron fist. This is what you should do. And this is how you should do it. Watch me. Portia said, Mrs. Fletcher, we saw your last interview. You're very lovely lady. You have very interesting background. You're just exciting to hear you talk and share your story. So we work for a company, and we have a particular brand that we like to you be part of our company brand. So if you're interested in being a sponsored athlete, and if it's something that works with you and your process as a bodybuilder, we would like to help you. So let us know what you think. Look it over, and talk with your husband if you feel like it. And let us know how you feel. If you're interested in it, we'll save things up for you, and we just want from you to grow as an athlete. So, ma'am, would you be interested in signing with our company?
Yeah, see that man, you're manifesting it for me. So absolutely.
Yeah, I would say sign a contract, baby.
Absolutely. Where do I sign?
Yeah, right here, yeah. But yeah, but folks, we do appreciate time she giving us. She just got off of work. She's a busy lady. She got a man to take care of. I mean, I know, he goes to shows, good to support you. I don't know about your son. I don't know if somebody say, hey, who's that tall blonde chick? Say, hey, that's my mom. Be like, you tell my mom talk like that. But as you know, it's old say, a boy's best friend is his mother. My mother was my best friend. I love her. I miss her. And I know he loves you, and you're standing behind him where he's making his way in the sport, and
Yeah.
your husband, him supporting him, and that's good. That's good that parents really want the children to grow and to gain something for themselves in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So my last question is, what would you want out of bodybuilding for yourself in a whole?
Um, that's a really good question. I think what do I want out of it? I just want to keep growing and keep evolving. I would love to pick up some sponsors and be able to, for the next few years, like as long as I can, still be in it and it'd be nice to be recognized for something like, I'm thinking maybe a business down the road, clothing, like something like that. Um, Something like that. That's just, yeah, mostly for it just to keep me moving forward and achieving and reaching my goals.
Yeah. It's like Rocky Balboa. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. That's how winning
Yeah.
is done. We have here a dude I had a pleasure being on my channel. He's a buddy of mine. My man Russ G Photography says evening all. We evening Russ. Russ also does photos with bodybuilders, and
Okay.
competitors too. Yeah, I'll send you a link. If you want to check him out too.
Yeah,
He's
perfect.
actually,
Yes.
yeah, he's in Charleston. That's right. That's in South Carolina. That's like across from where I live in North Carolina. But
Yeah.
you ever, I don't know, he might be doing some travel in the future. Maybe come to
Okay.
Florida or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe something in the future. I know there's a show here in the Charlotte Pro.
Hmm.
They do bikini, I think now, and I don't know. I don't think they have any. I don't think they have age groups. I think it's mostly just the open. But
Hmm. I have
but
to look.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So, folks, we do appreciate the time that Michelle gave us, and wish her all the best of luck in the future in her pro debut. It's like I said again, this is a sport that's really tough. A lot of time, money. It drains both your mental, your physical, your spiritual.
Bank
Anybody
bank account.
anybody who does the sport, I give them respect for because, like I said, most people, you know, can't do this. The sacrifice you got to make, the time, the money. I mean, everyday people wouldn't want to do that, but this is a sport about passion, and if you're passionate enough about it, then you can go a long way with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because look at me. Whoever thought?
Yeah. So we'll let you go. Who you want to shout out anybody while we got you here?
Actually, I have one shout out I want to do. So there's a lovely woman I know. She's out of Quebec. Her name is Marie Pontini. She is a wheelchair athlete. She has competed at the Arnold. Um, I want to give a shout out to her because she is prepping again for the Toronto June show. She has MS and quite a few different health issues, and she is one of the biggest champions I know. So she does have social media, so people want to follow her. It's Marie Pontini. She's incredible, so inspirational. Anytime I'm having a bad day, I just have to think of her, and she just inspires me. So definitely Marie. And then I would give a shout out to Popeye Supplements, who I work for. I'm assistant manager there, and then my manager, who is also one of my best friends, Steph. I'm going to be coaching her for her first fit model debut at Mindy's show. That is going down in May. And shout out to Mindy. Who else? My parents for having me and being the first inspirations, because like I said, when we started, they were always into fitness. So and then my family for supporting me, my mom, because she is my biggest cheerleader. She occasionally will throw some money into my bank account when I least expect it, when I'm competing and I need it, but I don't like to ask for it. And she just pops it in there, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I could go on and on, but that covers a lot. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I tell you, I miss my mom. She always need money, but I used to remember times like when I was got for work, and then she'd be cooking in the kitchen, and or she
Yeah.
do like clean my room up. I mean, that was my woman, my mom. I never really had
Oh,
any, no kids, or anything. It was just me, but me and her for a long time. I love her. I miss her. My man Russ G says this. He says, uh, "Yes, please add and follow my IG fitness photography page. Would
okay.
love to work with I in congratulations. Yeah, well,
Oh,
thank you,
thank
brother.
you. Yeah, I will
Yeah,
follow you. Yeah, I have
yeah.
to
I'll
find
like
that
I say,
again. Yeah.
well, all you gotta do is I think I'll send you a link when I'm
Okay.
done, and you can check him out. He does some great
Perfect.
photography. Interview. He
Awesome.
was on here a while back. Interviewed here. I know, like him and Sean, the only two guys outside a couple of male bodybuilders I have on here. I mean, I usually, like I said, it may not be the '80s, but I love the ladies. So but we do appreciate your time you're giving us. And oh no, he has to say something. Oh
Uh-oh.
God, I can't let him say. Oh yeah, Michelle. I want to tell you something, Michelle. Before I leave, I want to tell you this. You are beautiful. I gotta see somebody about him. I've been, I don't, but he completes me. So, but we do thank you, Ms. Fletcher, for taking
Thank you
time out to
so
talk with me.
much.
No, to quote from a man, my favorite movie again is the Batman trilogy, whole thing from scene from the end of Batman Begins, when Gary Oldman is Jim Gordon says to Batman, he says, "I forgot to thank you, or never get a chance to thank you," and he turns around and says, "You never have to." That's why my channel
Mm,
is on here, to give you ladies the voice, to have y'all
mm.
ladies who really have something like yourself, a mom, which you went through is growing up, and and working hard and being passionate about bodybuilding. That's why I have this channel. That's why I reach out to anyone out there, because you were like quite a few ladies I interviewed did the North Americans. I know one lady she got 3 pro cards at North Americans,
Wow.
and and 2 of them in 2 different divisions. And
Easy.
just this, really just to give you all opportunity to share your story, let people know who you are, what got you into sport. You never know. You might inspire somebody like yourself.
Hmm.
You maybe say like, you know what, I need something for me, and that's why I think that's me a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm grateful that you reached out.
Well, I am too. I appreciate you responding. So, folks, uh, we have a couple more days of February. March is around the corner. I hope y'all enjoy this upcoming weekend. Gotta get through Thursday. I used to remember one of my old jobs. I only worked 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. I was off on Friday. I was saying, "Y'all fools are be at work. I'll be at home watching cartoons in the morning, eating cereal." But but I do
Nice.
appreciate IFB Bikini Pro Michelle Fletcher for coming on here, share a story. Shout out to my man's Balls Deep coming through. My man Russ G, my brother KL the Wanderer. All you who watch and follow me on my social media platforms, also follow Michelle. The links are in the description. You can also check her out on YouTube. Shoot up some subscribers. That helps up. Shoot up some subscribers. That helps up. But guys, I'm telling you, Scott, and this is just a nice lady. She has a husband. She got kids. No the pics. Stop it. Get some help.
Well
Come
said.
on. Yeah, yeah. So thank you, man. Appreciate your time and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. All right, folks. I appreciate the time y'all coming through. Follow, subscribe me on YouTube, and also Michelle on YouTube. Support these ladies support of bodybuilding. Shout out to all the people that were here and I appreciate the time y'all giving me. This email always your page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, and have a great after weekend.